All right, good evening, everybody. This is the Chike Onyia Speaks live talk show. And we're broadcasting here from Oniru in Victoria Island, the country of Nigeria. I'm always so excited to be here. You know, one of the reasons why I'm so excited every Friday, 7 p.m. West African time, is because I have the most important person in my life always sitting by my side. Guys, you don't know how lucky I am. I want to welcome my co-host, beautiful woman. I was just looking at her face, and I said, wow, my wife, not fine woman, not fine girl. You know what I'm saying? Hey, guys, don't be angry at me, man. I married well. Hey, honey, how you doing?
I'm good. Good evening, and good evening, everyone. So it feels so awesome to be here, as usual.
You know, just the other day, this week, somebody called us from the U.S., and they put us on video call or whatever. The person looked at your face and says, wow, ever so pretty, Azuka. Ever so pretty. Right, I married a pretty woman. Hey, look, man, let me just basking that. Anyway, it's not about that on the show, right? But it's my show, so I get to talk about what I want to talk about, right? Anyway, want to welcome you from all parts of the world, right? Yeah? And today on the show, well, first, what's the purpose of this show? Why did my wife and I even decide that every Friday we're going to leave our work? We've been working. I'm so exhausted, guys. I've never worked so hard in my life. My wife was on her laptop. I said, honey, we got a show to do, you know, and we just, everybody like, quick, bam, boom, booyah. And here we are, man. Anyway, honey, why this show? Why do we come out every Friday, evening, tired sometimes, exhausted from a long week? Why do we come here for 1 hour? What's the reason for that?
Well, I'm going to borrow a phrase that I heard a young man say earlier in the week as I was watching CNN African Voices.
Okay.
You know, the guy says it's Give Back Friday.
I like that. It's Give Back, eh?
It's
okay.
Give Back Friday. So we decided to do this show, to help change one life and one family at a time. So it's our way to give back.
I like that. Let's coin that. It's a Give Back Friday, right? So every Friday we come and give back for free, right? Ain't nobody paying us for this, right?
No, nobody's paying us.
Nobody's paying my wife and I. We just sit here, and it's a Give Back Friday, right? It's a Give Back Friday. We want to be remembered, the legacy that my wife and I, right? The legacy we're going to live, right? So it's something that is so special to us, so meaningful. And without you guys, the audience, this show will not exist. Think about honey just coming to talk to you. You and I just be talking to nobody here, right?
No, I appreciate our audience. They could have chosen to do other things on a Friday evening. There are so many other things that people could be doing on Friday evening.
Right.
But this show is not just about those listening now. This show is on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Generations to come, can still benefit from the timeless wisdom that we share on this show. Once in a while I think about authors like Shakespeare, and the books that they wrote hundreds of years ago, and we're still reading them, and they still impact our lives one way or the other. The other day I was thinking about I saw something, someone quoted something and said things fall apart.
Chinua Achebe.
And I thought about Chinua Achebe. He's late, but his book lives on. So this show would, by God's grace, would live on, and generations to come can listen or can watch. You're also on Spotify. Maybe we should use this opportunity to give them the handles where you are.
Spotify,
Instagram at on Instagram Chike_Onyia_speaks, Facebook Chike Onyia ESQ, YouTube just Chike Onyia, and Spotify Chike Onyia. So
the Spotify is we do podcasts, and so you can, if you're a podcast lover, we have podcast in 10-minute sessions or whatever on different topics, resilience, emotional intelligence, the different things that we talk about, right? Well, let's dive into the show, but maybe we should welcome the audience like we do from the different parts of the world, right? So why don't you, that's your thing. I'm going to always leave that to you, right? You want to welcome them, different parts. So go for it, girl.
Woman.
Woman. I want to talk to you like you're a girl, you know what I'm saying? Like a sweetheart.
Okay.
Not no woman, man. No, I want you, your sweet 16.
Yeah, right. I didn't feel it when I was climbing up the stairs.
Now, you said that you can say that. I'm not going to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, it was
Oh my
it was
God.
Thanksgiving yesterday in the United States. Thanksgiving is celebrated every last Thursday of the year in the United States, and so we want to shout out to all our listeners and our family in the United States. Shout out to Chicago, New York, Atlanta,
Yeah.
California, Texas, wherever you are in the United States. We want to tell you welcome to the show and happy Thanksgiving. We also want to welcome our listeners all over Africa, in Ghana, in Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, wherever you are, in Kenya, even Uganda. We want to welcome those listening in from Canada, from the UK, and then back home in Nigeria, in Victoria Island, Lagos, we want to say welcome. All over Lagos, we want to say welcome. Enugu, Onisha, Aba, Uweri, Jos, Meduguri, wherever you are, welcome to this amazing show.
Right.
It's going to be an amazing show today. I
Yeah,
know
it
that.
is. It is.
Anyway, we always have fun.
Yeah, we just have fun. Like, listen, tonight we're going to talk about what money does to people, right? Money and emotions. It's a theme for the month of November, really. And let me just start off. And here it is. You have a gentleman, let's call him Benjamin, right? And you have his wife. Let's call her Susan. And Benjamin, when they got married, he didn't have shishi. Now, for those of you in the diaspora, what that means, he didn't have shishi, is, I didn't say shisha, I said shishi, right? He didn't have shishi, which means he didn't have no money, really. He was just barely making it. And it was one of those things where, Susan married Benjamin out of love. I love him, which is a great thing, right?
Where did she meet him?
I met in the university.
Okay.
You would recommend a good place to meet a spouse when you're in college, right? By shout out to those of you in uni, wherever you are in college. Shout out to you. That's a good place to find a spouse.
Yes,
that's the advice.
As you're studying for that test, shine your eyes.
Shine your eyes. Yes, make you they look for my wife you
and hobby.
or hobby, man. Because when you come out of that uni, it may not be as easy. You know what I'm saying, right? But anyway,
it will not be as easy. Not me.
Hey, it may not, or it will not be as easy, Abi.
At all.
Okay, because now you don't know why the person is wanting to marry you.
Exactly.
When you're in uni, you guys are like babies, man, little kids running around, right? So anyway, Benjamin and Susan met in the university. And out of love, they fell in love, and Susan, Benjamin got married. And Benjamin, wasn't doing well initially, right?
He was a kid.
Yeah, it was just came out of school. And Susan got a job. I think she got a white-collar job, very corporate job, quickly out of NYC or whatever. And, started working, making money. And, Benjamin, tried to do some business early. He tried the corporate world, it didn't work. Dibbled and dabbled into business. And for some reason, business is tough. Business can be very tough, right? And so he wasn't doing well. And Susan was so benevolent, so generous, such a caring, compassionate woman. She gave her all. She gave her heart. Paid the bills, paid the rent. When the kids came, took care of the school fees, when Benjamin didn't have enough to put food on the table, she carried everything, no biggie. And she never complained because she really loved him. And all of a sudden, the guy hits one big contract. You know the way it is, man. He just overnight, he just blow. Like they would say, those of you out there in the diaspora, in Nigeria, where we say you just blow, right? We say that means that the person from that shishi level, no money level, man, the guy became a whatever, millionaire, billionaire, whatever you want to call it.
In which currency?
He was wealthy.
In which currency?
No, no, you can convert it to dollars if you want, but in Naira, very quickly, he landed a contract that earned him billions in profit. So, within a period of a year or two executing that contract, and in fact, multiple contracts almost simultaneously, because of his network, he had developed a network, his contacts, and it was as if the hand of God, you know when God decides to rain on you, the blessings, the hand of God, and wow, the heavens opened up and the guy became really rich. And at that juncture, cut the story short, he started treating Susan like crap. Woman, please, I will go out, come back when I want, I have money. Woman, please, I don't need your feedback on this. Who are you to tell me what to do? And all of a sudden, the tables turned, and he became her worst nightmare. And at some point, she says, I can't take this. He became abusive, started drinking, started philandering. Now he has money. You can't tell me change the vehicles.
He's now a baller.
He's a baller, big baller. Big baller.
The latest baller.
Yes, so it's a baller. You know what I'm saying? And so, look, we want to talk about that. What happened there? Susan was committed to Benjamin, was there for him when he was destitute. He didn't have nothing. And now he makes money and he turns his back on her. So that's my story, right? And it's a sad one.
So did Susan stay or she left?
Absolutely not. She didn't stay.
She left?
No, man. She couldn't take it.
Okay.
She left.
Okay.
She divorced him, and, it had a major impact, a negative impact on that family. The children were affected,
By the divorce or
yes,
by their dad?
By everything, the whole story. And they had grown children who started to despise their father and did not want to have anything to do with him on his money, would not talk to him. The family just fell apart. And Susan was heartbroken, devastated. It affected her psychologically. At some point, she had to see a therapist and, get help. She almost lost her natural mind because she really could not believe that a man who she was there for when he didn't have nothing would turn around and betray her this way. It's a very sad story.
Okay, so
and let me just land. Let me land.
Money.
Where does
So where does the money anyway land?
Where does the what?
Okay, so
where
is the connection between money and emotions?
Well, obviously, when the guy started making a lot of money, he became proud, egotistical, and
megalomaniac.
Yes, just simply, I'm not going to take crap from anybody.
Was he taking crap before?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Was taking crap before now. He will do domestic work. He will.
So that was crap.
To him, this is crap. And I ain't going to do the school run. He used to do school run. We'll be ironing children's school uniform, and stuff. We'll iron the school, do the school run, go for PTA. Parents,
that was crap.
After all, he didn't have money. His business wasn't. So what was he going to do? He was even helping in the kitchen to cook a little bit and all that because the wife was working a 9-to-5 job. He had a corporate job. You know what I'm saying? So now the money came in. So money and emotions connected. Ego, arrogance, a lack of humility, right? Brashness, abrasiveness, just name it. Infidelity.
Impatience.
Whatever. Impatience, intolerance. What's the word? Ingratitude? Is that the word? Not grateful. What's the word?
Ungrateful.
Ungrateful. Okay. Not grateful. Ungrateful. Right? Ungrateful. Right? So that's the story. That's the story. Right? And look, that's one story. I know my wife has her own story because this thing cuts across. So, right? It cuts across. And tonight we're gonna digest this. We're going to diagnose it. We're going to dissect it. And we're going to talk about recommendations, solutions, how people, deal with this in their lives, So that's the story, right? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. You gave us the elevator pitch, A lot of times I don't like to jump into conclusions or judge people from afar. You have to be in that marriage to know what the nitty-gritty, was, or what they both had to go through. But then, assuming that, everything was normal until Benjamin hit it big. I mean, I'm not surprised that he acted that way.
You're not?
No, I'm not, because obviously Benjamin's values are centered around money. All the while he was doing school run and ironing clothes and helping out in the kitchen, he was faking it. That wasn't him. It was just eye service. He was just faking it. Money defines who he is. Money is what controls him. And so when he hit it big, my mom would say, his head scattered. The money drove him mad.
Would your mom say that in Igbo? Or?
Yes, in Igbo, Isi Gbaka.
Isi Agbaka game.
Yes.
Isi Mbaka.
Isi Gbaka. There's a kind of
translation.
Money,
your head scattered, like you got crazy, like nuts.
From zero to a lot of it. It's like taking a village farmer from my village in Abatete, blindfolding him and dropping him in the middle
smack dunk in
Manhattan. Of course he will go nuts.
The city of Manhattan.
Yes, he's gonna go absolutely cook.
In the Big Apple, man.
He will think he has died. You didn't tell me I've died and gone to heaven.
Oh my God.
Because he's transmitted all of a sudden into that wealth, And so Benjamin, it could also be a situation where, Benjamin had not come to terms with how he would handle himself if certain things are placed, in his, possession or whatever. Sometimes you need to get trained before certain things are exposed to you.
Right.
He obviously grew up in lack and in abject poverty or penury. There's a difference between someone who was raised in comfort, in wealth, not necessarily booyah wealth like the likes of the richest men in the world. No, even the average middle class family that they didn't lack, everything was provided for them and all that. There's a difference in attitude than those who were raised in abject poverty and then they now hit it big. Man, they are one of the meanest people you've ever come across. Because they will remember all the times that they suffered.
That's funny, man. Oh, the meanest people in town,
they are one of the meanest people in town. So they take it out on the world.
Right.
So for me, Benjamin's money was the sudden wealth that he got exposed to was able to alter his character because his authentic self is that poverty-stricken mentality self. He just felt, okay, I'm doing all these things, I'm doing school run. Meanwhile, the school run he's doing is his own children. It's not as if it's another person's child. It's his own child answering his last name, his own DNA, everything. the house that he was helping to clean, is it not his house? Was he not sleeping there? You know, so for me, we've talked about this some shows, you know, ago, that it's important to focus on your values. What are your values? What defines you? And you have to be true to yourself. You know, you have to be true to yourself. That's why you hear a lot of girls, they'll tell you they're not interested in marrying any poor man. It's not because, and people think that they are gold diggers, that's why they are saying that. No, I've said it earlier, poor men are always angry. About one thing or the other, very sad face. You know, you don't have money, you don't have money. Being mean and wicked with hard face, you can't smile. Everywhere is tense. We cannot have a good time.
What about the poor man who has Christ? If he has Jesus Christ, do you think he will have joy, the joy of the Lord in him?
The Bible says not everybody that calls me Lord, Lord. That's me. I don't even know them. Because so to err on the side of caution, women like a man that has settled so that the man can be happy. Because a lot of men, without the woman, look at you know, Susan, she supported him. She didn't look down on him, she loved him, but internally he never liked himself while he was poor. So that when he hit it big, you know, his true colors showed. That's why women like to avoid men who don't have any money. Say, this one is already suffering. No, he's never going to be happy. Let me just go and find someone.
You don't give him a chance.
No, because you don't want to. Marriage is forever. You can't jump in and jump out.
Right.
So statistics have shown that men who don't have anything, you know, they are not happy to be around. They are very cantankerous.
Oh my
Everything
God.
is a problem. And women just want to have fun. I mean, who was that? It was not Cyndi Lauper that sang about it. Girls just want to have fun. That's all they want to do. Right. So why am I going to want to hang around someone who is miserable all the time because he doesn't have money?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Some poor man may be listening to you out there wondering, oh my God, Dr. Azuka has finished also.
No, I'm not finishing you people. I'm just telling
Don't
you.
worry.
While
If you have Christ in you, don't worry. You will have the joy of the Lord while you now aspire to make money, right? So please just, you know what I'm saying? But we get your point, honey. You know, you don't want to be. He said a hungry man is an angry man, right? Yes,
Angry.
you're hungry.
I'm not the one that coined that proverb. It's there.
A hungry man is an angry man.
So when you see
my
girls
God.
saying that, please, I need a man that is comfortable, it's not because she's a gold digger.
I get it. I get
You
your
know,
point.
she doesn't. We just want to have peace of mind.
Yeah.
We want to have fun. We don't want anybody that is angry at the world and you know, cantankerous or pretending to be joy of the Lord. If you check now, that Benjamin was pretending to have joy of the Lord while he was poor. Now he's gotten wealthy now. The joy of the Lord has flown out through the window. It's now the pride of the devil that is following him.
Oh my God, we gotta take a break, honey. Right, but before we do that, like our audience, where are they tonight? Right, our social media audience. I know you guys on Facebook, on IG, and all that. We've not left you guys out. Let's say hello quickly. We won't take a break when we come back. Lawal Moshood is here. Good evening, Ma and Sa. Latest Agbabola. Yes, Lawal. He's laughing. The guy is cracking up, man. And Kende Oduola, right? Good evening, man. Sir. Kende Oduola says, money does not change people. It only unlocks the character jailed by poverty. My gosh.
Exactly
it's as if Kende captured what you're saying.
Exactly.
I want to repeat that. Money does not change people. I like that. It only unlocks the character jailed by poverty. My gosh. That is a show standing on its own.
Yeah,
so poverty.
Is a Shakespeare.
So wait a minute. I want to. This English is something else. It's blowing my mind. Poverty jails the character, right? So what money will do, it will unlock that bad character.
No, that jail lock.
It unlocks the character jailed by poverty.
Money will break that lock. That has jailed that person, so that the real character will now come out. That's what he's saying.
The real character being that bad character, so he's in jail. Almat Lillian, that's us. One scary story. Okay. Oh, that is one scary story. Lord, protect me from such men. Lillian doesn't. She doesn't want the Benjamin in her life, huh? She doesn't. No. Anyway, we're going to take a break. The show is already cracking up. We're cooking it up, right? We're having fun already. I just love it. sitting here talking with my wife. This is the Chike Onyia Speaks live talk show. If you're just joining us, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're talking about money and emotions today. We'll be right back in about 60 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Chike Onyia Speaks live talk show. Today on the show, my wife and I, our co-host, Dr. Azuka Onyia, my lovely wife, we're talking about what money does to people, right? We told the story about Benjamin and Susan. And I think, honey, you have another story for us, right? Because, when you and I were talking about this topic, you said to me, with wisdom, this is not just a man thing. We need to balance this story. It's not like we're attacking one gender. And you said you actually have a story to tell. So, yeah, is that right?
Yes, so men are not the only ones that are affected, positively or negatively by money.
Okay.
Women are too, We had a family friend, when I was growing up. And the lady was very industrious, She had a restaurant, a very popular restaurant where we, in the city where we lived. And, a lot of people used to come and buy food. And the husband, they both, the husband was working, a white-collar job somewhere, but he wasn't making that much. The woman started, that restaurant, and over the years, the thing grew big. At some point, the husband lost his job and couldn't get another job. And, the woman said, "Oh, why don't you just come and help me, run this thing together?" And at some point, she just became so wealthy. The restaurant did so well that she just relegated the husband to the sidelines. You would see the husband in the kitchen cutting onions and washing plate and all that. The wife is everywhere. The husband will be cooking and cleaning and packing trash. And I mean, he was a glorified houseboy, and she would talk to him anyhow. He didn't have a say in anything. If you entered their house, you would know who is in charge. There is he couldn't talk. You don't have money. Keep quiet.
My God.
What are you saying? You
cold,
have no
man.
opinion.
It's a cold.
And, as a little girl, even growing up and watching that, I'm like, wow. So when they both started off their marital life, together. They were both on the same level, and it was a lovey-dovey, family and all that until she started doing well. The man couldn't say anything. He couldn't tell her anything. She made all the decisions. At least men self, even when they make money, they will even help their wives buy a car, get her a driver and all that. This one, you better jump bus. Which car? She drove the car, and he could take a bus and come and meet her at the restaurant. Why he stayed, as long as he did, I don't know. He didn't leave. You said Susan left.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he left. This guy left. He didn't. He was there. Maybe if he leaves, where who will feed him? He didn't leave. I was such a pathetic, situation. So for me, it's not really a gender thing. Money, either the lack of or abundance of money, can change people's characters, either men or women.
Yeah.
So what we want to, kind of like talk about on the show today is, what do we need to do as individuals, to maintain a stable, character, regardless of whether there is money in abundance or there is barely enough. How do you remain composed and you're someone of character? People can relate to you. You're a friend, you're a spouse, you're a sibling, you're a child, you're somebody's child, How do you maintain that consistency?
It's funny you asked that question. I was just thinking about this book I read many years ago. I think you're the one that even told me about the book. That book by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? I read that book many, many years ago. That book changed my life. And one of the habits, the 7 habits, is to keep the end in mind. And I love the way Stephen Covey painted the picture in that chapter. That chapter started by telling us about a man, if I recall, driving to his own funeral. A very interesting picture. And when the man, he didn't know it was his funeral. So that caught my attention. The guy was driving to a funeral. I don't think he knew it was his funeral. But when he got there to the funeral, he saw himself in a coffin. And the question was, who was at that funeral? One, obviously, family, friends, colleagues, whatever. And secondly, what were people saying about you in that funeral? So I guess he was listening attentively. And what I understood from that chapter is going to help us answer this question, in my opinion. Because from that chapter, what I understood was, when individuals, you and I, and our audience, and I'm not talking about anybody dying here, don't miss the point. If you think I'm talking about funeral, anybody dying, you've missed the point. I'm not talking about morbidity here. But if you transport yourself to your funeral and you ask, what would I be remembered for? What legacy do I want to leave? Right? Almost like your eulogy. What are they saying about you at your own funeral? From that chapter, Stephen Covey started to help the readers think about what their core values will be. What principles should guide your life today, such that at your funeral, when they're reading a eulogy or whatever, when somebody is giving a testimony about your life, they will say, this man loved his wife. This man catered to his wife. This man was trustworthy, was loyal. This man, and so from that chapter, I guess the man left the funeral. And from what I recollect, right, it's not very clear. It's been almost 20 years since I read this book. I'm kind of making things up as I go. So please, if you read the book and I miss any part of it, don't, but you will see the gist of what I'm saying. I got it right. Right? Maybe the man went home and then sat down. He was still alive, obviously. And scripted a set of values, core values, and says, I'm going to keep the end in mind, but I'm going to start today to lead a principle-centered life, values-based life, a principle-centered life, such that when the end comes, and when people look at me, they will say, "It's man." So the simple answer for me, for starters, is that, like you said, you mentioned it. I think men and women must, and you said something amazing. You must be true to yourself. You must have a set of guiding principles that you're going to live by. I call them core values. A core value is a principle, and it's at the core, right, of who you are, and it helps you make decisions in life. So in Benjamin and Susan's case, for example, so let me relate my story and bring it back to this case. If Benjamin had a core value of loyalty, right, trustworthiness, family, believe me, and Benjamin remained true, because these values, you perish with them, or if you perish, you perish. And believe me, when you lead life based on your values, they will cost you. There may be things you may not have. There may be things you want to have, and you may not. So he makes a lot of money, billions or whatever, and he notices that, there are vices pulling him left and right now because he has money. The values will center him. They will ground him. They're like a foundation, an anchor. Like when a ship berths, it anchors you, so you don't deviate left or right. Even if your emotions are pulling you and swaying you, your thought process, your values will anchor you in one place. So that's for me the starting point. And for some people, godliness is a value system. I fear God. Love your neighbor the way you. So Benjamin, Susan is your neighbor. Love your neighbor the way you want, the way you love yourself, right? So when you are
forgiveness, even
forgiveness, of course, could be.
Yeah, because Benjamin could have harbored some grudges in his mind. Maybe one time when he wasn't working, he didn't have money. Susan had a white-collar job. She was climbing up the corporate ladder. She had a deadline, maybe a board presentation. She needed to do something, and Benjamin is saying, please, can you help me make amala? And she's like, can I do this later? I need to finish this board report. He will feel disrespected. What are you talking about? But sometimes the way we also relate to one another, people despise things that they don't understand. Benjamin, you're at home. You don't have a white-collar job.
Right.
Your wife does. If you truly love her, you have to believe what she's telling you. She has a board paper to write. And to you, it's like, so you're putting your board above me. You now start fighting, you're envious of the job. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're not telling her, choose between your job and I. Why would you say that?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if they fire her from that job, you don't have anything. So you'd rather that the family should be destitute because of your own pride and your own insecurity. Just because she says, I need to do my board report, I'll do this amala tomorrow. Or let me order amala, from...
You can order it now.
You say, no, I want you to go and make the amala.
You can.
No, there are some unreasonable people like that. I want you to go and make the amala.
Knowing that she has a board presentation tomorrow?
It's not about the amala. It's about his insecurities. Then he comes up with stuff. You're putting your board over me, your company over me, your career is more important than me. In fact, some men are envious of their children. Yes.
That's another one.
Some men are envious of their children. You'll be like, the wife will say, let me feed him and change his diaper. I need to put him to bed. What? And I've been here waiting for you.
In fact, I was here before that child came. I came before the child.
The child
now you are showing more affection to that child. I was here before the child came.
She's looking at you. The child is 6 months old. He's crying.
That's cold, man.
And all of a sudden the man is competing for her attention with his own child. Woe betide her if she had the child from a previous relationship. In fact, both her and the child, the man will drive her away. You know, will drive the two of them away. So it could be that he stomached all those things, you know, internalized them, said, I will show you. So when he now hits his own jackpot, you know, he's like, well, you did that to me, I'll do it back to you. You know, I don't have your time. I have me myself. In fact, I'm now the board, Steph.
Yeah, I'm the board.
You know.
Yeah.
So one of the things you have to have as your core value is forgiveness, understanding. You know, the Bible says two cannot work together except they agree. You know, and a home is built with understanding. So you have to understand each other. If your spouse, for the fact that you're not a white collar worker, you know, you run your own business, doesn't mean that your spouse that is a white collar worker, when she tells you or he tells you, I have a deadline I need to meet.
Yeah.
Hey, don't fight that person and say, you are putting your job over me. You get fired and both of you will starve.
Right.
Because you don't have anything.
Right, that's right. Okay, great. We're making progress here. Maybe we should open up the phone lines and see what people are saying today about this topic. Onyia, you want to tell them? I think we have some comments here.
So let me give
the phone lines
first. So you can join us on this very hot topic. Our numbers to call are 091 6000 2661. 091 6000 2662. And if you're calling from outside of Nigeria, you can call us on WhatsApp at +234 91 6000 2663.
All right, so wait for the phone lines. You can call us and let us know your thoughts on this topic tonight. Lawal Halimat says, it's true that money shows a man's true character. Not being poor is not the issue. The main issue is poor mentality and ambition. Okay, Chike. Chike, yes, character can be defined by the decisions you make when life puts the most pressure on you. That's right. I love that. You know, yes, thanks, Chike. Lawa Halimat says, your character is not who you pretend to be when all eyes are on you, but who you are inside, right? Mm-hmm. That core foundation laid in you that nothing can change. Interesting. It's what you said, honey. You got to be true to yourself. You know, sir, your surprise is surprising me. What is this one again now? Almad Lillian, sir, your surprise is surprising me. Doctor is describing the typical life of most Nigerians. Feeding your husband is more important than any bodo. Really? Oh my God. No, I'm not like that, though. My wife is a corporate woman. Oh. If she's preparing for a board,
which surprise is surprising?
No, when you know, when the man says he must cook amala.
It's funny. I like that. Your surprise is surprising
me. That the amala, I say it's you that must make. I say why? I'm shocked about that now. Order the thing on whatever now.
Okay.
You go so order it online and let them deliver the amala. Right. She even has the money; she can pay for it. So what's the big deal? Why must it be you making the amala? I don't know. No, I don't. Please, if you're a man out there, right, and your wife is working hard, she has a corporate job, you need to support her. Support her. Don't insist that she's going to make amala that night, knowing that she had to present to the board. No, now.
As per man must not live by amala alone.
No, we can order the amala. No, voila. The money is there. She can pay now. So why must it be her? No, I'm surprised by that, right? So
Lillian, my husband is surprised that you're surprised.
Yes,
he's surprised.
Yeah, exactly. Lawa Halima, a man should support his woman's ambition too. It's part of love when you want my growth, not even because I'm the breadwinner of the family. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. That's right. So, you know, the phone lines again, honey. You want to repeat that?
091 6000 2661, 091 6000 2662. And if you're calling from outside of Nigeria, it's +234 91 6000 2663.
Right. So, you know, while we wait for the phone lines here, I mean, apart from, you know, just having this core values and being principle-centered, I think another thing that's very important is love. When you love somebody, right, you would make sacrifices. One. Two, when you love somebody, you're kind, you're compassionate. There's certain things you will not do to that person. And there's the law of reciprocity. Do unto others the way you want them to do unto you, the golden rule, right? Susan was there when you had nothing. Now you have something. My gosh, everything you own should belong to her. Yeah, hello, good evening. We have a call. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
This is Lawal Alima calling from Lagos, sir.
Lawal, can you turn off, do you have two devices? Turn off one or reduce the volume on your laptop or your wherever you're watching from, your TV, turn down the volume. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead.
To me, like I said in my comment, it's all about the mentality. It's not even about the character in some cases. Because some men, like Doctor said, they don't want the growth of their wife. They are envious. It might not even be the character that made him change. It might just be that I see that if he keeps on supporting her at home and she continues like that at work, she's going to make it big. And he says that it's time for him to also look for his own separately. Maybe it's because of the support he's giving her, that's why she's boosting up. Some men can think like that.
Wow. Thank you, Lilian. Thank you, Lawal. Halimat Lawal. Interesting.
Interesting point.
She makes a very good point. But I wonder why a man would be like that. I'm bewildered by that. Maybe Lilian will say, again, I'm surprised by your bewilderment.
She's bewildered.
She's bewildered by my God, we're speaking a lot of English here. But who are these men? You know what I'm saying? Where are these men? Who are these men? Why would I envy my wife? I don't get that. Maybe I'm a stranger. Am I an alien? Do I come from a different planet?
Yes.
Why would I envy Dr. Azuka? Why would I do that?
The reason you would envy your wife is because society has told you that you should, because you are the head of the home.
Okay.
That headship is centered around wealth.
Okay.
And not really around authority or anything that, when they say the man is the head of the home, they just believe that, you should be older than the wife, you should be richer than her, you should be more educated you should be everything more than her. I get it. So when she's now something more than you. So when she's now something more than you, even if she's fatter than you and your skin is wahala.
Or if she's fatter and you are skinny, it's a wahala.
Well, even if you have more money, if she's taller than you and you are shorter, it's problem.
I think we got a call. Hello, good evening. My gosh, this is funny, man. Please call back. Try again. Sorry. Once we get that call, we're going to pause to take that call, right? Really want to hear from the audience, but this is a funny one. So, hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, man, sir.
Good evening.
This is Kenny calling from Shagam.
Kenny.
Yes.
Okay, from Shagam.
Kenny Udrola from Shagam, Ogun State.
Yes, Kenny, go ahead. We're with you. Go ahead.
At times, it's not about the man, it's about the cycle he keeps. The friends and family, the society at large, what they are saying. You get influenced by peer pressure, them telling him your wife is the one doing this, your wife is the one doing that, and it tends to change.
I get it.
So the pressure from the society at times don't believe a woman should be a breadwinner. Like personally, our society looks down on women being the breadwinner. They see it like she's doing this, she's doing that, she has done this, she has done that. And this gets to the husband, which makes him emotionally disabled.
Wow. Kenny, thank you so much. Brilliant. That was brilliant.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're so welcome. She says, wow. And, she's made a very good point. The impact of our society. And I think we need to talk about that a bit. That's a whole show on its own. Maybe we should even address that next week. It's a big one. We need to talk about what Kende just said. It's a very big issue. Particularly, I'm sorry, honey. Particularly, I don't know. Women, yes, I'm sure women are influenced by society. But when it comes to this issue that she just raised, it's a big issue for men. What the society is saying, and your wife is feeding you, you're not a man, your whole poof is gone. Like she says, he becomes unstable emotionally and begins to abuse and all kind. It's really a problem, right? It's a big one. It's a big one. It is.
Yeah, and to me, it all boils down to core values.
You think so?
It all boils down to core values. I cannot legislate what the next person says, what the next person thinks. You know, I can only control myself. I can only influence myself. There are certain things that I can legislate, though. I can decide who I want to hang out with, who I want to let into my life, who I want to give an ear to what they are saying. Those are the things as an adult I can control. Growing up too, we had a family friend. The wife was uneducated. He was educated. He had a university degree and he had a very good white collar job. He used part of his money to send his wife to school to learn how to be a seamstress. So she used to sew. And later on, after 35 years of service, he retired. And the wife, her tailoring business blew. And she made a lot of money. After 35 years of service, he didn't have anything. Just had one miserable looking pension. But he was the one that gave the wife the money to invest in buying 1 or 2 sewing machines to start off with. And people used to laugh at him. You know, they used to laugh at him. They used to say, look at you, your wife is feeding you. He will say, yes, I invested in her so she can feed me. You know, it is my own investment that I made, and my investment is yielding dividend. After a while, people got tired of laughing at him. He will even drive his wife's car. They will say, your wife's car? Yes, it's my wife's car. She bought it. You know? And he never,
oh my God.
I mean, just like Nigerians will say, he didn't agree that bullet kills dog. If you make fun of him, you say, yes, so your own wife is a liability on your neck. You will continue to feed her until you die. You know, my own wife is an asset to me. He will praise his wife. There is no name he didn't used to call his wife. Praise names. He will, and once for all those men, his wife was very pretty. You know, she was pretty, she was rich, she pampered him like he was the best thing out since sliced bread. And he didn't have shishi. You know, but he used his money to invest in her because he found out that this woman is, even though she's not educated, she's very industrious. You know, if I give her, there are some women that even if you give them 1 million naira to cook 1 pot of soup, it won't be sweet. Some other women, you give them 10,000. When they finish that stew, you'll be licking your fingers. People have different skills and different talents. He saw that his wife is an industrious, woman that has she was commercially astute. So he invested in her. He said, it's a laptop I'm carrying, pressing computer. I don't know business. So let me take this shishi that I'm making from my 9-to-5 work and give it to her to invest. I had a boss, in one of the places that I worked at in America. The wife was very good at playing the stock market. She never had a white-collar job one day in her life. But she knows which stock to buy, when to sell, which portfolio to invest in. The man had millions of dollars. Anytime he gets paid, he will just carry his paycheck and give to his wife. She will invest it. That's all she does. And he will tell me, I don't know anything about the stock market.
Wow.
She's very good at it.
That's a great one, eh?
And so you can laugh at him and say, look at you. You don't know anything about investing. Your wife is, he will earn his salary. He will carry 100% of his paycheck, give to his wife. Some people will say, oh, you're a woman rapper, you're foolish. You carried all your paycheck and give to your wife. Let's say he earned $1 million a year from that his job. At the end of the year, the wife will multiply that thing by times 10 because of all the stocks that she would invest in. You know, so the man didn't have anything to worry about, and he didn't really care what anybody, said or whatever they did. He would even tell you, "I've sent her my paycheck again." So for me, it depends on your core values. It depends on what you hold dear. Is it everything people say it gets to you? That means you're not a person of your own. One thing I want to share with our audience today, and it's something that I personally practice. I don't give any human being alive the power to control how I feel. I don't. Sometimes people look at me and say, "Oh, you're hard. You are whatever they want to call it. You are arrogant. You're whatever." You say whatever you want to say. You don't have that much power. You don't have any power even over how I feel. You don't legislate when I'm happy, when I'm sad, because I have chosen, to be joyful.
Right.
So what you say or don't say about me does not impact me in any way. It's no skin off my nose. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion just like I'm entitled to my opinion. So if we adopt, certain attitudes and mindset, we will not be negatively influenced by society. And a lot of that family, friends, society, people that are telling you, "Look at your wife, she's doing this, don't support her, she's feeling you." They are very jealous. When they go home, they go and fight their wives. Look at Mrs. X. She just bought a new car. You are here. Even spoon you cannot buy. But then they will come outside and make fun of Mr. X.
Right. Yeah, it's a tough one, right? I know. So, and you see, this is something early in our lives, in our families. Parents also need to drill down in their children. So what we're talking about here, in terms of core values, your mindset, your attitude, and some of this societal influence, right? It's really big, and a lot of people are negatively influenced by that. Just like Kenny said, a lot of men are negatively influenced by peer pressure, societal pressure. Like you said, when they say the man of the house, you said it yourself. That what society, the way they interpret that, in fact, is not really even about your gender per se. The man of the house really means the person who has the money. Yes, you're a man, but do you have money? Yes. Yes. You even said that you're more educated. You have more poof. That's why they say you're not a man. You don't have shishi. Step aside. It's so in some villages when they're having meeting. Airport meeting, when they call a meeting, right? And people are talking. Let me interpret that. I just spoke Igbo, my own language, in the meeting, and they say, "Sit down." You don't. What are you talking about? Sit down, my friend. And meanwhile, the guy may have a lot to say.
Very
But
wise words.
And he may have a lot of wise words. He may be the most educated there. He may be, the most experienced, the most learned. But somebody there in that meeting, the society will say, "Look at this one. What do you have to say? What do you have? You don't even have." My friend, sit down.
They say money talks.
Sit down, money talk. Let the man hear that. The Jago here. This man has money. Let him talk. And the guy who leaves that meeting feeling inadequate. Meanwhile, he may be a PhD holder. He may even be a professor. So you see it all over the place, and a lot of people struggle with that. And until, like you said, you develop this sense of who you are, your set of values, and believe me, it will cost you. They will laugh at you. They will mock you, right? Because there may be certain things you don't do, you may not have, because you're standing your grounds on what you believe in, right? And because you're principle-centered, right? Society will laugh. They will mock you. But what you've said tonight is instructive, we all have to develop a sense of who we are. This is who I am. Interestingly enough, I think she was the one, or you said it. A lot of this, okay, you said a lot of these people envy you, and some of them don't really they don't really care about you. They don't really, right? Yes, they don't, right? So why should you care so much about what they're saying? At the end of the day, really, today you're here, tomorrow you're gone. You don't care. They laugh and all that. Ultimately, they don't really. Are they feeding you? So why do you care so much about what other people are saying? Anyway, it's been a great show tonight. Very, very informative, very instructive. And, I think the two or three major things, having a set of values, living life based on a set of principles, loving people, and just making sure that you develop a sense of who you are, so that societal influence, family, friends, even sometimes your own family, extended family, your friends, the people you hang out with, they tend to put a lot of pressure on you.
Your parents can put a lot of
Even some
pressure
parents,
on you.
yes, some parents put some pressure on their children.
Undue pressure,
even on their children.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So you see, it's just after a while, it just becomes too much, right? All right. You have any parting words, any closing words where I bring the show to an end? It's been a great one tonight.
Yes, we hope that we've been able to change one family, one person through this show tonight.
Yeah. This is the Chike Onyia Speaks Live Talk Show. My name is Chike Onyia. My lovely wife, Dr. Azuka, is the co-host. I'm your host. We'll be back next Friday, by God's grace, God willing, 7 p.m. West African time. Good afternoon where you are, if you're in the U.S. maybe, and good night wherever you are. God bless you. See you next week.